This is a message actually to two organizations. One, I'm talking to CEOs of companies who may or may not have a background in sales themselves. And for those who don't, where that's just not their comfort zone, they relegate sales to, I call it Bob. And in fact, it's one of the articles that I wrote that's called Bob is Not a Sales Process. That given the importance that I just described about what the role of sales is to a company, to allow your sales and how your company goes about selling to the person you hire into that role, as opposed to a sales methodology or sales process that you as the CEO have decided upon and says this is the approach that we're going to take to pursuing new business for our company. And every single person who comes into the role of sales or business development is going to be taught this process. Our leadership team is going to be taught this process, and this is the way we are going to pursue new business. What happens today in a lot of businesses, surprisingly, is that selling is relegated to the individual's technique. This belief that selling is a gift. It's a knack. It's all about relationships. It's about the ability to tell great jokes, to have a low handicap golf score. That is the element of sales, and that there's nothing even further from the truth than that. Selling is a discipline. It's a discipline as strict and that can be adhered to and followed to as an accountant, as an engineer, and that if you understand the importance of selling in your organization, then you as a CEO have an obligation to ensure that the people who are out there representing your company in sales are adhering to that discipline to the same level that your bookkeeper is adhering to the discipline, and that your engineers and that your coders are adhering to the disciplines of their particular roles. Yeah. So what I hope I succeed in doing in this presentation is convincing those owners that that is their obligation, just to decide what that methodology is, what that approach is, and then incorporate that as a discipline in their company that every salesperson will be adhering to. And what you will see as a result is what we saw when we changed our approach back in the days of Boeing, where we used to hire ex-military fighter pilots who who flew our airplanes in their career, and we thought that that's all you needed to be a good salesperson. If you flew our airplanes, there I was flying the F-16, there I was flying the F-18s. I could tell great stories of me flying in Afghanistan and me flying in Kuwait. But when you think about it, these governments were making monumental decisions the size of $3.5 billion, a decision that will decide what airplane sits and defends their nation for the next 30 years. Trust me, you're going to get beyond the war storytelling real quickly. And we learned that lesson the hard way by suffering some really devastating losses before we too understood that it takes more than personality and war stories to succeed on a consistent basis in selling. And that adhering to the discipline, recognizing sales is a discipline, and it can be a replicable process. You can dramatically change your win rate. And what a great lesson to learn.